Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe we're here. My name's TJ. I'm the head coach of the Detroit Dipplins. And you know what that means. I'm back in a draft league, baby. I have joined 2 draft leagues. And what that means is I'm playing a lot of draft games. And so I've been back in the draft league for about a week and a half, maybe approaching 2 weeks. But I have I'm distracted on my own. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. And so this past week, I had to play 5 draft games across 2 different leagues. I'm in one draft league that is the Dipplin draft league, the one that I was in before, if you've watched the channel. And I that is a national dex normal format right now with like Terra allowed and stuff. Not on everybody. And then I'm also in a team tour with 2 of my buddies under the same name of the Dipplins. And on that team, I coach Gen 9 National Decks. I'm not going to go over the team right now. You'll just see what I bring. But yeah, I wanted to recap the games that I played. I'll talk mostly about the Dipplins games in the Dipplin Draft League. And then I will talk about the GSC Draft League game. Let's see how I did. Boom, we're here. We got the week 1. This was technically my week 5 game. My week 4 game? Yeah, I think this is my week 4 game, technically. But it was the first one I played. This is versus Lecter of the something city Machops. I think it's like the Miles City Machops. I don't know where that is, but I'm a big fan of the name. So yeah, you'll see these guys a lot on my team. I got Iron Tread, Zapdos, Samurai Hisui, Hydrapple, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Blacephalon. None of these guys can Terra. I also have Porygon 2, which can't Terra. And then I have Ferroseed, Murkrow, and Tropius, which can Terra. That is my entire team. And then you got Mr. Lecter here with the team you can see on the screen. This is Mega Diancie, of course. I don't remember the sets, and I deleted them from my builder after I made each one. But I will do my best to explain these turns. Lecter is the commissioner of this league. He was, I believe, 1-2 or 1-3 at the start of this game. So I lead Blisef expecting maybe a Rillaboom, but he goes into Rotom to obviously Volt Switch. And Iron Treads was Assault Vest, so he could also take an Overheat if he went for it. And so I just decided to hard switch into Hydrapple, expecting maybe another Volt Switch or something. Or, I'm sorry, I don't remember if my Iron Treads was Assault Vest or not. I really don't remember. But my Hydrapple definitely was. And it took like 40 at most from Specs Overheat, which wouldn't have mattered there. But basically, I was good to switch into Hydrapple on Annihilate. And then once he switched into Annihilate, I was good to go Zapdos because I was Rocky Helmet, Max Fizz Def, with Static, of course. He went for a Substitute, which scared me a little bit. Sub leftovers could have been really scary. And he bulks up. Now, one thing to note is that hitting the sub does not power up Rage Fist. I learned this from having Annihilate myself. But I was a mixed attacker on the Zapdos, as you'll see. I had Brave Bird into Thunderbolt. I think, even though I was actually max Fizz Def, so I wasn't invested in either. But I actually stayed in expecting a fast Roost on Rotom, and Specs would have done enough. A fast Volt Switch on Rotom, because I'm a slow Zapdos. So I went for a Brave Bird, trying to get the Rillaboom. Did a lot to this guy. He U-turned, which is interesting, because I thought he would have Draco'd. Didn't get static, but he goes into Diancie. I chip him a little bit, and now this turn is really fun, because I'm Fizz Def. I know I live either a Moonblast, which is his best special move, or a Diamond Storm, which is his best physical attack. I'm EV to always live it, no matter what. And then you'll see what happens, because he goes for Earth Power here after Mega-ing. I don't know 100% what he was trying to catch there, maybe Iron Treads, but I had Steel Wing. That's why I was mixed attack physical, was so that I could have Steel Wing. So Oko the Diancie, um, it's now kind of done its job. I roosted again, expecting the fast Volt, but he tricks me. I'm tricked into roost, so now I got to go Hydrapple again. Um, we now know that he's Rocky Helmet. He Volt switches to Hydrap. Cyclozar's here. I know I can live even his worst possible thing, which is like a Specs Draco Meteor because I'm Assault Vest. So I get a lot of chip here with just a free Fickle Beam. And then I'm good to just spam it again because it just hits everybody. He overheats here, but it doesn't do anything, and he's lowered his attack. And so I get to just keep attacking Fickle Beam. He's going to Volt, and I get another Fickle Beam on another someone, which is this. And then I think I stay in here because if he Ice Punched, that was okay. And if he Rage Fisted, it wouldn't kill me, and so I just keep Fickle Beaming. I get an All Out, which is really nice. I go for it again because I wasn't totally sure that he would be Terra Fairy because I didn't know if that was the best bring for him. But he does. And then instead of panicking, I just go into Rot in case I can Encore, but it's pointless. I just try to Aqua Cutter, get as much chip as I can. He's going to get a kill on Rot. It's 5-all, but it allows me to bring in Treads because the worst thing this could have right now is Store Power, and I don't even remember if it gets that off the top of my head. But this is a pretty free Iron Head. He does have that Rocky Helmet, which is funny. Oh yeah, this is Assault Vest, by the way. I remember it now. But he gets to Volt Switch on Hydrapple. Doesn't really have anything to abuse it. Probably would have been better going to Uxie there, but it's fine. Again, I live there. I don't think it was Specs, but I would have lived it anyway. I get some chip there. He's now low enough that I could have stayed in, but I thought he was going to U-turn. But maybe he was Specs or something. Or Scarf. I'm not sure. No, he's not. Nice commentary. I get a free Iron Head, and then I'm max speed, and so I know that I'm faster than him. He can't kill me even from this range. And he goes for a Volt Switch anyway. Actually, he might have been able to kill me, and I was sagging it. I don't fully remember. But it all works out. Iron Treads is here. Gets a kill on that. Rillaboom's probably going to glide, you think, but I am willing to sack this, and so I just Ice Spinner to get rid of the terrain. Ends up chipping Ape just a little bit. And so I'm free to just stay in Iron Head, but oh, I don't. I'm lying. I go to Zapdos, yeah, which is the right call. I always go to Zapdos on this because it can't do anything to me. I Brave Bird because Scarf Brave Bird literally hits a lick on everybody now. His Rage Fizz comes in, doesn't really do anything, gets parried. It's not going to matter though because I was faster anyway. Gives me chip on Cyclozar. I think he reveals he was Scarfed here. I can't remember if I was 0 speed, so I can't remember if I was faster than 375 with the Scarf or not. But I live it anyway. Kind of lucky, but I think that only mattered for differential, not total. Iron Treads here. It's going to take a mystical power. But I'm faster, and so I can just Iron Head for free. Takes a lot, and so I can Iron Head again. It's just in case the Uxie switches in. And then Rillaboom is going to get the kill here. Oh, it doesn't. That's right. I was just gonna sack it, and so I just go for Iron Head, and then again, I know I'm faster, and so I just keep Iron Heading. But he goes Rillaboom, just taking a little more chip. He's probably just gonna Glide now or Wood Hammer. He knows I can Ice Spinner. Iron Head, you get a flinch, everything. Knocks it off. Just fine. I can see why he wouldn't Glide there on Zap, just in case. Not really, actually. Urshifu, is a cool set here. You got it spoiled. It's Ice Spinner. But I actually was Rindo Berry with some Fizz Def, so I would live even Adamant 252 Choice Band Glide, and I Ice Spinner back so that he can't glide again, and I'm faster than 295. And because of that, I could always Ice Spinner for free on him. He knocks off anyway, just in case I switched into something like Blisef, I guess. Or he was banded. I don't know. But I get the kill there. And then I'm going to be able to just go into Blisef. Didn't want to give him free HP on Draining Kiss. And also was going for differential at this point. But we can speed it up by Overheat Crit, which doesn't matter on the first turn, really, because I was just going to kill him anyway. And in case you're wondering, the math checks out that without the crit, he still dies at 14, even at +1, and me at -2. So I won my first game, and I started out 1-0, technically 1-1, because I took over for a team, which is how I joined this league. And so I was 1-1 at that point, because I took over for an 0-1 team. Then I hopped into my second game versus McWolf and the Trubbish. At the time of my recording, or at the time of my playing this, he was 3-0. And he had beaten some pretty significant players in our league. I brought an interesting team. I was not by any means throwing. I really thought that Murkrow and Ferroseed had some good matchups here, especially with the sets I was bringing. But no Zap. He was confused. Some people might suggest that Murkrow is a really dumb bring against a side terrain team, and I will say, yeah, you're probably right. I'm going to get a Ceaseless Miss. Into a good Aurasphere. It's not an Aurasphere Predict. I don't know why I keep thinking it is. I thought that at the game, and I thought it now. It's not. Obviously, he's going to Aurasphere on Rot. So I bring in my Terra Bug Murkrow, which is just sick. Still takes a ton. I mean, a ton from Ice Beam. This guy takes a lot, just showing that Mega Blastoise is really strong. Urshifu set was walled by Houndstone, especially with Fluffy Rocky Helmet. Honestly, my entire team was. This Blacephalon was. Now, a big important change in the rules is we miss another Ceaseless. And then, I believe, I missed 3 Ceaselesses, but that's okay. No, this is where I missed my third one. Doesn't really matter. Because I think I lost at this point anyway. But I can't. I have a hard time bringing up Houndstone. And so I get a good predict, and I get a good predict again. But this Ursh just doesn't have anything for Zamazenta. And so I cannot punish it, and therefore I lose. And the biggest reason that this is an issue is because in the Dipplin Draft League, we allowed Pursuit. This is not the last time I'll talk about this, even in this video, let alone if I make more. But see, Blacephalon can't do anything to Tyranitar. I mean, I'm guaranteeing that, I'm making a perfect prediction. I know that Tyranitar is coming in, and so I do the worst possible thing I can, or the best thing I can, which is Trick, because I can't get my Urshifu in to damage the Houndstone. And so, because this guy has Pursuit, and I didn't plan well enough for it, or whatever, or just because it's strong, I couldn't beat it. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this battle. He misses a lot of Wisp, but it's not going to end up mattering because Knock does 0. But, yeah, it's interesting because I really was not frustrated at Wolf at all. I think that was a demonstration of an incredible team building that he put together this season. Also, I was just showing off my set at this point. It was just for fun. But I think it showed off his incredible team building this season. However, I was upset that we did allow Pursuit, because I think Pursuit is really unhealthy in draft. Really, really unhealthy in draft. And you're going to see it's not the last time it comes up at all. But this was the first. And McWolf is, I believe he's 5-0 now. He's at least 4-0 because he beat me. But yeah, we lose a 6-0 there. it's really bad. I didn't deal damage to 5 Mons. 4 Mons. 3 of them never came out. Houndstone and Tyranitar literally could have been the only 2 Mons on that team, and it would have beat me. Just because a competent player who knows pursuit timing can beat this entire team with those guys. Yeah, so that was a tough one, but I got over it. I've learned about pursuit and just how bad it is because I've never really played with it in any mode. It's not that I didn't know about it. I expected pursuit. But anyway, speaking of pursuit, we brought a Colberberry Blisef because I knew Muckalola had it this time. And so this is against Sacred, who at the time of our game was 0-3, I believe. So turnaround from the Trubbish, whom I just played. This is a pretty fun team. I don't remember the sets, really. This is a Sash lead Samura. I encored expecting to be slower and into Tailglow. Didn't work out, so I get to just Ceaseless here. U-turns. It's an interesting set. It's Toxic U-turn. This is Serena. It's going to obviously Rapid Spin or at worst Grass move, which Blacephalon is going to tank because this Blicef has some investment. So I get to freely Flamethrower, and now you would think I'm Pursuit Trapped, but I had Colberberry to survive 1. Because if I could get 1 Flamethrower off and live and get into a switch like that, I can beat Muck. Especially with this spike. I Rapid Spin here because I have Mega Horn Life Orb to kill even bulky Latios. I miss it. Take a lot from Mystical. Now I know that I can't miss another Mega Horn, but I did. I didn't hit it. Got the kill on Lottie. Kangaskhan comes in. Guy is not going to do anything to me because I'm faster, and I do a lot with Iron Head. I understand that this is bulky now. I get a free switch to Blisef. I'm a little screwed here because I thought it might protect, but it didn't. And so my Psychic, it's come in. He brings in Muck. I'm expecting to sack it to Shadow Sneak, and so I am actually okay with that. That's much better than Pursuit, which is the other thing. And so I could just go for Mind Blown, which gets the kill. He said like GG before I killed it, and so he thought that I actually threw away my win con at the start or right there with Blisef, but there's a mind game. This has Terra Water, so it would have come down to mind game because Shadow Ball doesn't kill it. This thing could have Sucker Punch, and this thing probably wouldn't have died to Shadow Ball unless I was already boosted. So I don't think that was GG. Anyway, I bring out Zapdos to Heat Wave. It lives. Rapid Spins. It doesn't get hit by Meraki Helmet, revealing protective pads, but it triple axles, but I'm pretty physically defensive, so I would live it. And I get to U-turn for free. Bringing out Hydrapple because I can live Ice Beam easily with my Assault Vest, and I can Giga Drain it back. I didn't kill it, which suggests it was a bulky Manaphy of some kind, but I get to just do it again. And then we're basically guaranteed to win because my Urshifu can always live even the worst move from Kang. It wishes, which I never understood, or which I did not know that it had, but it Seismic Tosses, and I was at 215, so I knew I lived it, so I get to close combat. And we win that one. I thought that my game plan just was able to be executed pretty well, which was nice. Good lead with Samurott, and no moves that I didn't completely not expect. Yeah, it was a fun game, 4-0. At this point, we were 2-2, 2-2 on the season. And then just today, I played this game versus Ori and the Amsterdam Trampas. Finally brought Porygon 2. I went with a lead Iron Treads, expecting Ninetales. Heatwave burns me, which is really bad, but not this turn. And it just affects how I have to play. Urshifu's here. I'm going to get a free U-turn because I wanted to see if Aloe was Rocky Helmet, which everybody fucking brings against me. And it was. I sub here expecting a Toxic. Not the best play, but it didn't. I didn't get punished. This thing got Pursuit, which scared the life out of me. I'm glad I lived it. I didn't know it got that. I static pair of this. and I get a Thunderbolt on Ninetales. I can't let this go, so I got to go out to Iron Treads. It baton passes on me, which is interesting. And it's going to Leaf Blade. And I knock it, removing its Choice Scarf, which actually ends up hurting me, but I never thought it was going to be Life Orb, Choice Scarf. So I don't know. I couldn't have predicted that. I didn't think that was a great bring by him, but it helped him because he gets to Sucker Punch this. Never expected that. Ursh comes in here, gets to U-turn because I'm Scarf Adamant. Hydrapple comes in. I've got the Yachi Berry to live Blizzard, but goes for Moonblast. I don't know. That just kind of sucks. That was a true 50-50 there. Maybe it was more like a 60-40 for him. It's more likely that I would protect against Ice than Fairy. But it's tough because Yachi Berry allowed me to survive the Ice move and not the Fairy move, and Assault Vest allowed me to survive the Fairy move and not the Ice move. And so I went with the Ice move, thinking it was just slightly more likely. He also had a little more ice coverage on his team, like Ice Spinner or something like that. And then I come in here, I calc it, Adamant Urshifu kills this 100% of the time, and I recognize that it's super important because it's the only way to beat Zapdos at this point. And so I hard switch Zapdos on Aloe, and he Moonblasts. I am frustrated by that turn because I've worked really hard to think on that and checking his options, like loses to Zapdos, loses to Zapdos, loses to Zapdos, even with Zapdos, beats Zapdos, always. He couldn't lose that. And so this turn, if I Surging Strikes there, it always kills. And the frustrating part to me was that he said afterwards that he stayed in because he thought it was safe, because it always lives Scarf, and it always outspeeds Choice Band, but he didn't take into the set that I actually was, which was Scarf Adamant. And so I lose this game, spoiler alert. I lose that on a frustrating turn. And I hope that I can make it clear to my viewers that I'm sad about that. Because I went for a hard switch, predicting him to save the only money I had to counter Zapdos. And I got punished for it. And I kind of got in my own head at that point, and I left it in there. I don't know what else I would have done. Switched to Pori. It would have been the same mind game that ends up happening right here, which I bring it in again. Expect him to do the same thing, and he still Moonblasts. I didn't really have anything to hit this. I should have probably had Flash Cannon, which I believe Porygon brings or has. But I had 3 attack, Toxic. Come in. Now he goes to Aloe. That one bothers me a lot because I lost by making the correct play. It's dumb to argue that I made a correct play when I lost because of that play. I get that. Someone feel my pain in the comments, please. Someone relate to me. But yeah, that's how we are 2-3 now. 2-2 as a coach. 2-3 overall as the Dipplins, with a schedule coming up of people that I'm used to having lower records, but this year my opponents have strong records because the DDL has kind of flipped, and the people that used to be wins can be losses now, and the people that used to be losses can be wins now. And I'm having a really good time in the league, despite the frustrations of that. And it's really nice to be back in draft. Now, with that being said, Secret 5th battle. Boom! We got Open Terra here. This is my team that I brought. This is NatDex Trios League. The way it works is the team trio, me, my friend Boosh, and my friend Kane, are all on the same team. Boosh plays Gen 8 doubles. Kane plays Gen 7 singles. I play Gen 9 NatDex singles. And so because of that, this was my game. At this point, Boosh had won, so we were 1-0. Kane had not played yet, so it was up to me. If I won, we win for the week no matter what. If I lose, it comes down to Kane. And Kane had a really tough matchup, so I knew I had to play well. But let's see how we did. This is the first week of this, by the way. So Darm is Scarf here, and so I go for a Earthquake here. I was just kind of testing him. I wasn't sure the skill level of this league. I was really going to see how much damage that did, and so, or I mean, how well he's predicting. So at this point, he's shown he's predicting pretty well here, and so Thunderwaves, and so he's basically got me at this point. I'm like, oh man, I'm playing very simply, and he's playing on like the tier 2. Like I'm playing tier 1, he's playing tier 2, you know, because he's owning me. I'm comfortable here. Rapid spin encoring, or rapid spinning once. I get to Frisk, Mesprit, Fricassee Berry, which I forget later. Go for Poltergeist on this, which won't do anything. Rocks again. Encore him into Rocks, which means I get a free Poltergeist again. No, I get a free switch to Darm. Wow, that was a good play by me. A U-turn because he has Sturdy. Trapagos because I really need to spin this. But I don't. I predict him to go to nothing. I predict him. I forget what happens. But I go for a Surf. He mentioned he regretted this play, but my Specs killed. Gets the Surf kill. Switch in. Tapu Koko was a massive threat for my team. Weezing comes in here. It's max Fizz Def. It's not going to take anything from that, even with the crit. Rocky helmets him. Can't kill me again, even with max roll, and so I get to Strange Steam. We hit, get the kill. So the two biggest threats are gone at this point. This guy's done his job because I don't think either of these guys really matter. Trapagos comes in here to hopefully get a spin. Didn't. Let's see if I can get a spin. It did. And so at this point I was a little scared that it could set up or something. But I actually think it was a lucky move for me that he body pressed. I bait in the Mesprit with the Keldeo. Hold on, I got to go back to that. That's cool. So I bring in Keldeo, expecting him to go Mesprit. And so my way to bait that out and get a free kill here was Dragapult. I had frisked the Cassee Berry, which I didn't actually think to know what that was, which is a Shadow, or a Ghost Berry. And so I go for a Ghost move, which would have, my other move probably would have killed him, but the Ghost move doesn't. I get to kill him with U-turn because it's Darm, and he's awesome. I get to Superpower here, revealing Rocky, or not revealing, with its Rocky helmet. I get another free this. The Kyurem's going to come in. Any move it goes for doesn't kill Bennett, I think, except for like Spec Strikometer, and I knew I could Encore Kyurem. He knew that too. I Encored it anyway. I get to Will-O-Wisp. I miss, but that actually ends up being okay. Because I thought I was going to die to Earthquake, but I didn't. And so I Destiny Bond, he still lets me get that kill. Darmanitan is Scarf. And so I get to Superpower here. Boom, the Dipplins win that game. We're 2-0 there. We're guaranteed to win the week. And afterwards, Kane did lose the singles Gen 7 battle, so we were 2-1. But we're technically 1-0 overall. So yeah, some really good high moments with some good predictions and plays by me. Some unfortunate moments. One thing that I've really loved about this that's made it much easier to get back into is I haven't felt like I robbed anyone with hacks, and I haven't felt like I've been robbed with hacks. But I don't know. I've loved it. It's been really exciting to get back in, and I don't think I'm going to get back to the uploads of every week. I'm probably going to keep videos like this, like longer recaps of multiple weeks. But I just think that draft is exciting to be back in, and I'm hoping to make a playoff push in all of them, and I think my playing has gotten better. Also, I've been sick this entire video that I've been talking. I don't remember if I mentioned that at the start. Sorry for my annoying voice. It'll be better next time. But yeah, thank you for watching. Go Dipplins. Bye.